Welcome back to Rebuilding America, the path to 2026. In today's episode, we're diving deep into how President Donald Trump is finishing the work President Ronald Reagan started, especially when it comes to education reform, and how his leadership is paving the way for a stronger, more independent America. Let's take a look.
I would like to dissolve the $10 billion National Department of Education created by President Carter and turn schools back to the local school districts where we built the greatest public school system the world has ever seen. I think I can make a case that the decline in the quality of public education began when federal aid became federal interference.
Okay.
President Ronald Reagan wanted to take power away from Washington and return it to the people. He believed that education should be controlled by local communities, not a distant federal bureaucracy. And while Reagan made great strides in many areas of governance, there was one piece of unfinished business: the dissolution of the Department of Education, which had been created by President Carter just a few years before Reagan took office. The goal was clear: return control of schools to local districts and reverse the bureaucratic overreach that many believed was degrading the quality of American education. Fast forward to today, and President Donald Trump is doing exactly what Reagan couldn't finish. He's tackling the Department of Education head-on. In fact, Trump has proposed measures that begin the process of dismantling the department, with the ultimate goal of returning more power to the local level and reducing the federal government's involvement in education. Despite Reagan's strong stance on education reform, his efforts to abolish the Department of Education ultimately faced insurmountable opposition. Congress was simply not ready to support such a sweeping change, and while Reagan's rhetoric rallied many conservatives, the political climate in the early 80s made this reform impossible to implement. But Trump is different. Where Reagan's vision faltered, Trump is pushing forward. As of March 2025, Trump signed an executive order aimed at dismantling the Department of Education, fulfilling the goal Reagan only dreamed of. While Congress may still oppose some aspects of the plan, the fact remains, Trump is making real progress in undoing the federal overreach that has been hurting America's education system for decades. Reagan inherited an economy in dire straits: high inflation, rising unemployment, and stagnant growth. Yet, he quickly turned things around with bold tax cuts, deregulation, and policies that encouraged business investment. By the time Reagan left office in 1989, the economy was booming, with job growth averaging 300,000 per month, and the unemployment rate dropping from 7.6% to 5.5%. President Trump, like Reagan, inherited an economy in need of revitalization. He focused on tax cuts, deregulation, and pro-business policies to stimulate growth. And much like Reagan's first term, Trump's policies led to a booming economy. Before the pandemic, unemployment reached its lowest point in 50 years, 3.5%, and wages grew faster than inflation. But even with the challenges brought on by COVID-19, the recovery has been swift. Now, in May 2025, Trump is bringing the economy closer to Reagan's success. The unemployment rate is at 4.2%, just slightly above the pre-pandemic lows. Job growth is steady, and the stock market continues to show strength. While the economy has not fully returned to where it was in 2019, the trajectory is unmistakable. It's Reagan's vision of an economically strong, free market America being realized once again. Both Reagan and Trump focused on reducing taxes and regulation to foster economic growth. Under Reagan, the economy grew by 5.6% annually during the mid-1980s, and the job market flourished. Trump's first term echoed this success, with tax cuts leading to higher wages and job growth, especially prior to the pandemic. His administration managed to lower unemployment to 3.5%, similar to the peak that Reagan reached in his first term. In May 2025, we see the economy stabilizing, and while the jobless rate is slightly higher than Reagan's 5.5% at the time, it's clear that Trump's policies have helped us bounce back stronger than many expected. The economic model Trump built mirrors Reagan's: lower taxes, less regulation, and a focus on bringing jobs back to America. From a historical perspective, Trump's first term mirrors Reagan's in many ways. The path forward, however, isn't just about bouncing back, it's about making America's economy greater than it's ever been. And that's what Trump is focused on now as we move toward 2026. Reagan's legacy is undeniable, but his work was interrupted by political opposition. Now, President Trump is following through on Reagan's unfulfilled vision. The plans that Reagan set in motion to dismantle the Department of Education, to revitalize the economy, and to reassert American strength are being fulfilled under Trump's leadership. Trump's unwavering commitment to putting America first, restoring American pride, and ending the overreach of the federal government has resulted in tangible, lasting changes. While Reagan started the journey, it's Trump who's bringing it to its final destination. Reagan was a president of bold ideas and ambitious goals, and while he made tremendous progress, some things couldn't be completed in his time. Now, under President Trump, we see that Reagan's vision is being fully realized. The fight for a stronger America is far from over, but with Trump leading the charge, it's clear that the future is looking brighter than ever. Thanks for watching, stay tuned, because we've got a lot more to cover.